Alright, we're going to go ahead and get this carburetor rebuilt for this Ford truck. I've already got the carb off the truck. I've got my carburetor kit out. And I like to lay out a rag or white cloth or something to lay out my parts on, my small parts, so they don't get lost on the bench anywhere. I did go to the store and get a gallon of carb cleaner so that I can soak the carb in it and make sure that I get everything cleaned up really well on it. So I'm going to go ahead and put you on time lapse for the most of this, but if you've never done a carburetor before, it's really not all that difficult to do. The kits come with a pretty detailed diagram of all the parts and pieces and where they go on the carburetor, and you pretty much take apart your linkages from the outside, remove your choke housing, choke pull-off housing. That takes everything off the carb. This one has Phillips head screws in the top of the air horn, and air horn comes off. And then you'll find the accelerator pump is on this carburetor. It's on the front here. Some of them have a shaft style pump with a leather seal on it that will stick up through the air horn and uses a plunger to depress it inside. You'll also find the jets inside of here. There may be some needle rods depending on what type of carburetor it is you're doing. I've not done too many of these Ford carburetors, but carburetor is a carburetor pretty much. As long as you're careful about where everything goes. I like to lay out my pieces and kind of keep them together with the screws and all the different clips and everything, so that I don't have to try and remember where everything goes. But you've always got the diagram that's in the carb kit to refer back to, and it kind of shows you where everything goes on these. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on time lapse and get this carb rebuilt and go ahead and get her soaking so I can finish up some other things on the truck. Alright, our carburetor is all back together. I've got all the initial setups done. Got the choke set, not real tight because this choke spring is not quite cold like it would be on a frosty morning outside. I set my mixture screws for an initial startup, and the way you do that is you run your screws all the way in until they bottom out. You don't want to tighten them too much, just till they bottom, and then you turn each screw out 2.5 turns, and that should leave your mixture pretty close to where you need it to be, and once the vehicle is at operating temperature, you can adjust on that. But everything else is good. The float level is good. The carburetor cleaned up really nice. So I'm just waiting on a new choke pull off. We checked this one and it's no good, so I need a new choke pull off there. And what that does is it'll, once the vehicle starts, see how the choke flap is closed, it'll open it up about that much and allow some air to pass in so that it's not just strictly getting fuel. Because with the choke closed, no air, all the fuel, engine's going to die. So you need to have a little bit of air in there to keep things running right, even when it's cold. So everything's ready to go. Wait, like I said, we'll put the choke pull off on, we'll get that set, put it back on the truck, get it filled up with fuel. I've got a new fuel filter for it, and we'll get this truck running again and be able to move it back outside. Alright, I got the carb installed, new choke pull off is on, and I had to modify this hose that heats up the choke housing because the one nipple on the heater core was corroded when I took the hose off, so I couldn't reattach them that way. So I've just got it looped so there's coolant that will run past the housing and heat it up. So we're going to go ahead and get this cranked up and set our fast idle speed, and then get the choke to come off and set the idle and the idle mixture screws, and that'll leave this part of the job finished up. Go ahead and crank it up. Alright, the choke is about fully open now. Got good accelerator pump action. Set the idle speed. And we'll adjust on the idle mixtures. And we're going to turn these in just slightly until you hear the engine RPM starting to drop. In and in, keep going in. Oh, that one's about bottomed out. So we'll go out one, full turn on that one. Now we'll work the other one. A little too much. Alright, so we need to turn out this right side one because it's almost all the way in. So one more turn out. Alright. Start it up again. Now we'll move this one in. Start it up again. Back to this side. That's got the idle fairly smooth right there. The RPM sounds about good. I don't have my tachometer set on it, so not sure exactly where it is, but I'm guessing it's probably right around 750 RPM, right about where it should be. Yeah, so that leaves the carburetor working good again. Throw the light back. Good reaction with that, so I'm happy with that. I'm pleased with the outcome of the carburetor rebuild. Okay, so this finishes up the carburetor rebuild and the adjustments on this. We'll do a little bit more adjusting on it. Ashton was a big help with this, on me getting the engine cleaned up and ready for the carb to go back on. Are you done? Are we all done work? You got to tell everybody goodbye. Bye-bye. He's too busy playing. So that's going to wrap up this portion of the work I'm doing on the truck. Got a little bit more to do with this, a couple more shocks to put on, and we're going to move on next to getting all the trim and everything taken off. So that's about it for the carburetor end of it. I hope that helped somebody out that may be thinking about rebuilding your carburetor. Like I said earlier, really not an incredibly hard thing to take care of on your own. Just take your time with it. Be meticulous about how you lay everything out. Take pictures, refer back to your diagram that comes with your carburetor kit, and you should be able to handle it rather than going ahead and just paying out the nose for a rebuilt carburetor. So again, thanks for following along with this end of the F350 rebuild. I appreciate everybody that's been subscribing and liking and sharing the videos. It's really helping me out. Things are starting to roll along here, but I got to grow some more. Got to get my view time up. So if you can, try and just muscle your way through these videos even when they get boring, and let the time run through on them so I can get my view time up. It's important to YouTube's algorithms that all these things come together, and that'll allow me to do even more with YouTube. So again, thanks, and we'll see you soon.